I guess same old few things. Obviously, you two are the experts in the nickel. Do you foresee these are big issues going forward? Again, I had dinner with Bahanko last week, and he says we're supposed to be online in August, but we won't get our FAB to June. I can't open the plant without 3 months of supply. Catch 22. Ibu, please.
Okay, thank you, Ben. But I think first of all, I would like to comment the first market. Or you guys put my pictures over there. Because I have a bad experience on that picture. Just a few hours after I took these pictures, I got the accidents and 1 month in the hospital. I remember 2 years ago. Yeah, that's from these pictures. It was in North Konawe in Southeast Sulawesi. Okay, so we're talking about nickel. I can say I'm so proud, for Indonesia, because in Indonesia for nickel downstream we are the success story ever for the nickel downstream. The faster one, the biggest one, and not only from the resources, but you see the downstream. And yes, I can say in the beginning, I think there is an investment ministry here. It's under control to invite the investor in the beginning, right? They just invite the investor to make it the downstream in Indonesia, but they don't control. They didn't recognize for the raw material, right? So I think from the beginning we have to realize how much our resources first, and how many investors can make it the process in Indonesia for our minerals, maybe for next bauxite or whatever. But for nickel, if you're talking about the downstream, I can say not more than 10 years, right? Not more than 10 years. For now, we already have 55 RKEF, 55 parametallurgy to produce NPI, nickel picarum, ferronickel, and nickel main, and also 610 is still already existing in Indonesia. And for the battery, we already have 10 for the HPAL existing in production, and another 21 still under construction. Oops. And if you're talking about battery, okay, back for the total consumption, take a look at the total consumption of nickel. In the world, the total consumption from nickel only 3.36 million ton. Instead, Indonesia already controls 65% of the total global production. Now, 65%, I guess, is going to be 70% this year. And then we are the ones who make it the oversupply. We are the ones who make it the price jumping since 2 years ago, I think, yeah, almost 14,000. But this morning when I wake up, I'm so happy because I can see the price now is already 18,200. Okay, so you see Indonesia now, it looks like a controller. When we just announce something, suddenly the price now jumping down to a few point, and then when we announce just like a suggestion or recommendation or something not yet released in the regulation or mandatory, and then the price rising. Oh my goodness! So I can say, well, I'm so happy. We are one of the controller of the nickel, okay? But we have to take a look, what is the national interest for our nickel? What is the real value added we got it from the nickel? Is it the GDP can help the local society? That's the point. If you're talking about volume, enough. We are already a controller for the whole total production in the world for nickel. We are the volume controller. But now we're going to the value controller, right? That's why since the government announced to cut the production, reduce the capacity, the quota, the production quota, well, suddenly last year, end of December, right, the price from 14,800 and wow, raising to almost 18,000, right? Not, I didn't see it in the past 10 years, right? We make it a lot more than 3 weeks. And then, if you're talking about the volume, look at the demand coming from the existing production, the existing one, okay, for the RKEF, for the HPAL. Last year, the RKEF approval, 2025, 379 million ton. And how about the output, the output realization, okay? Only 300 to 320, from 379. That's we make it the peak oversupply, more than 381 metal tons from Indonesia. Okay, and this year we already reduced the production, right, to 270, 250 or 270. still oversupply. It's around 89,000 ton of nickel metals is coming from Indonesia. Okay, but if you look at the total volume, okay, last year the total demand is only 320. How about this year? Okay, this year the total volume, the total demand also for domestic smelters and HPAL, same like last year, 300 to 320. Should be 350, but some of smelter, I'm not saying they shut down, right? Some of them they are on maintenance, some of them, well, regarding for the Middle East crisis, for the for the sulfuric acid, right? I can say for the sulfuric acid for the existing stock, maximal only for 30 to 60 days, right? How about in upstream side? How about the biodiesel? You can talk, oh, how about our RKB? We don't have any RKB. Okay, when you get the RKB, how you make it? There is no biodiesel. We already checked in North Maluku, in South Sulawesi. Oh my goodness, the price already almost 30,000 rupiah per liters. But the problem is where to stop? Nothing. You cannot make it, right? So I believe this year's, we're talking about the total volume, 300 only. Let's say 300 only. Last week, RKB approval already 210 million ton, but our prediction not more than 250 for the total output is coming for the whole this year, 2026. Let's calculate 270 only from the government mentioned a few months ago, and yes, we still import from Philippines. Okay. Last year, 15.3 million ton. A few months ago, we just came from Manila. We signed the agreement between the Indonesian Nickel Mining Association and Philippine Nickel Industry Association. And then I'm so surprised, in Philippines only 37 nickel mining company in production, and total from 37 mining company over there, only 50 million ton a year. Maximum, 50 to 60.
28 is going to China.
I'm saying before the crisis here, but yes, they already have a long-term contract with China, and then we can make it, they can export to Indonesia only 20 to 25 million ton. That's the max. That's before the crisis. Okay.
That was before they didn't have any fuel in the Philippines. They just
So this is it. Let's calculate 270 million ton RKB approval, 20 million ton from import from Philippines, and then as a mining company you can apply for the revision. But revision maximum only 30 million ton, maximum from the total 30 million ton. So yeah, 270 plus 20 plus 30, only 320. So for the total volume, that's more than enough. Okay, more than enough for the demand capacity in Indonesia for the domestic one. But the problem is, maybe we have to discuss with the government for the RKB approval. Each company should be fairness.
Yeah.
Yes, should be fairness. Sometimes some big company they only get a few million ton. Instead, others company just 100 hectares area. Well, they got more than 3 million ton. Ini myself also wow. Oh, they got it more than my expectation. Okay, so that's the homework for Indonesian government, you know. Talking about RKB, talking about quota, should be fairness to each company. Yeah, look at the demand, look at the integration, and so on and so on. Okay, so this is it. Indonesia now, we are not chasing the volume, we're chasing the value, because we are trying to engage in the AU battery, yeah, for the CBAM, for the passport battery. My goodness, so many requirements. And I'm sure we cannot make it, right? And now we're trying to make it Indonesia EEG standard. We try to engage with them regarding for our condition, Indonesia condition, Europe condition, because we are totally different. So back to my statement, we're not chasing the volume. Stop the volume. We are already controllers for the nickel. Now we're chasing the value, making the green nickel from Indonesia, and then increase the value added. Like yesterday, when we make it, we did it, make it the new SPM of nickel. Well, we see so many conflict coming pro contra from the miners, from the smelters. But yeah, we did it. Increase the value added. Keep on talking about nickel. we are only talking about other mineral assets here. This is for the country, not only for us. But the impact is, you see the price, wow, raising again. Now today, 18,200, oh my God. Probably it's gonna be 20,000, I don't know. Let's hope. But this is it. The story of nickel, I think, could be a sample for another critical minerals downstream for next. Talking about the coal power plant, talking about the new energy transition, for nickel is not easy, you know. RKEF, rotary general electric furnace, it's like we needed 30 to 50 megawatt. It's like existing already 243 lines. Yeah, I'm talking about RKEF. I'm not talking about HPAL. But for the total demand, if you want to change to another energy or is it coal, I'm not sure you can make it, right?
They're doing it.
He only makes over there in Valley area for the hydro. But well, I don't know Valley, but I think step by step, okay? Talking about new energy, now look at the crisis of in the Middle East. Okay, no fuel and then no coal. Blackout. How you can make it?
The coal's also being pushed down by the highway system. Right? It's a question.
This is like a circle, you know. When the government mentioned, hey, mining company, it's okay because you have to use B50. B50 coming from a palm plantation, right? But how they make it for the palm plantation? Now we're suffering for the silver, okay, for its palm. But back to the palm plantation, they need the fertilizer from sulfur. So then the plantation also you need the biodiesel for the heavy equipment. But so this is like a circle, you know, how you can make it. So we need the solution, right? For the sulfuric acid. Talking about sulfuric acid, we have the biggest volcano active in the world. We have the raw material for sulfur. Now we have to look into technology to make a processing for the sulfur acid. At least we can support the industry here and also for the fertilizer for our agricultures.
I'll check with sulfur.
It's always difficult to talk after Mehdi because he's ChatGPT of the lithium. Yeah? Understand everything. So good morning all. Selamat pagi. It's an honor for me. A lot of specialists in the audience. Thanks, Banzari, for the invitation. This is a good warm-up for Bali in September. Yeah?